going to look at, on the unlikelihood that you unfortunately get a puncture on the event, how to remove your wheels and install them again. So what we're going to do first is just make sure that you've engaged all your gears to the smallest sprocket. So the rear one would be onto the smallest, and that you would change the front one down to the smallest if you're on the big one. Just don't forget to go into the smallest gear. It will make it much easier to take the wheels on and off. On the brake, the front and back is the same. There's a little lever that you flick up and opens up the brakes, allowing the wheel to come out a lot easier. All the bikes will have your quick release lever. Loosen the quick release lever, the wheel will want to drop out the back. You'll see the wheel sends sometimes hooks on the rear derailleur. Gently pull the derailleur backwards, the wheel will come off, and you'll see where the sprocket is. The sprocket is sitting between the two chains. So the chain is running in a nice circle like this. Take it out, there's your wheel, got your sprocket. What you're going to do once your wheel's out is just spin the wheel around and look for any thorns or glass or anything that can indicate where there might have been a puncture. And if you're going to take a tyre off, it would be good to make sure all the air is out. So get all the air out, because if there's a little bit of air inside the tubes, it'll make it harder for you to remove the tyre. Always start at the valve and you work down towards the ground, and you do on it evenly. The general rule, if you can, don't use a tyre lever. Some tyres are very easy to take off, like this one. If you use your thumbs and you pretend it's elastic band and you stretch it and you push it as low as to the ground as possible. So in this case, we can basically keep tension on the tyre. And remember, treat it as if you're stretching something over the rim towards the ground. Go as low as you can. You will see you have a little gap there, and that will allow you to take the tyre off quite easily. First, inspect your tyre. What you want to do is, again, externally just check that there's no holes or anything like that, or glass. In the inside, the first instinct, take your fingers and do this. Be very careful if you do that, because if it is glass, you can end up cutting your finger in the inside. Just remember that certain tyres have an arrow direction into which direction the tyre must get fitted. In other words, when you put your wheel on the bike, which is your forward direction. So once that is established, you put the one half of the tyre on and you work your way around. So now you'll see, so the one half of the tyre is on. Inflate the tube so that you've got a cylindrical shape, so it's not completely flat. If it's flat and you haven't pumped it up, you stand a chance of damaging the tube when you put it into the wheel. You'll see I'm putting a wheel onto my shoes. It's just a safety precaution in case you are working on gravel. You don't want any unnecessary dirt and muck on the actual rim. Put it in the rim, you tuck it. Now you tuck in the tube all the way into the tyre, and then again you start at the valve. Tuck it in like that, you get to about that point. Push this in, because what happens is the tyre sits on top of the tube, and you want to make sure the tube goes into the tyre. And then you just gently work your way down to the floor. And you'll get to that point. It'll either be extremely difficult to clip on. If it is, you'll use your tyre lever and you'll just gently, without pinching the tube, just gently clip it in there and pull that over. Before you pump your wheel, just pinch the tyre all the way around. You just want to make sure that the tube is not sticking out, because when you pump it up, you don't want the wheel to blow down again. Fortunately for this exercise, I've got a nice little foot pump, but under normal circumstances, you'd use your little mini hand pump or your CO2 canister bomb. Push it on, make sure your valve is straight, and then just pump your wheel up. Just remember the rear sprocket falls between the two chains, like that. So you're not going to go like this, and you're going to put it between the two, and remember you took the wheel off when the chain was on the last sprocket. So it's on the sprocket, push the derailleur back, push this down gently, and then it clips in. And then you just tighten your quick release. Just make sure that your quick release lever is firmly enough tight. Don't forget to readjust your brakes, and then away you go.